welcome back to McChats here on McGTV, youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Follow me on Twitter at MikeMcGTV. And again, I'm joined by John Orlando from the PVDCast at PVDMVP on Twitter.
Yes, there you
Got
go.
it. Boom.
Yes.
And Mr. Dan from 3 Geeks Podcast at 3 Geeks Podcast on Twitter and 3geeks.ninja. Oh, I forgot to mention, go listen to PVDcast.com and Matt Talk on anchor.fm. That's a lot of socials. And hey, John, you reading anything?
Nice.
Well, you know, Mike, I just was saying that I was reading a fine article in 614 magazine about the local comic book industry right here in Columbus, Ohio. Just so happens that Victor Dandridge, Mike Watson, Jeff Patrick from World's Greatest Comics, and yours truly just happens to be in the article. So go to your local newsstand, pick it up, or check it out online. 614now.com is the website.
There we go. And Mr. Dan, anything to report on the 3 Geeks front?
Dude, I just got done editing for about 8 hours the last couple days. There are a ton of interviews and our various shows in the pipe for this week. I don't have the nice little graphic that JT had for the main cast, but just be aware, many things are coming.
There we go. Nice.
All
At
right.
3geeks.ninja. Glad we I just got to say, you know, full disclosure here, this is like the third hour that we have all been together today. We just did a very fun 3 Geeks cast just about an hour ago, and that was, you know, usually the 2-hour block, and we had a great guest on, did a remake Revolution, had some laughs, made fun of a Jesus movie.
Well, I don't know. Is it really a Jesus movie? It's kind of like a Jesus slash like jihadist slash
it's
bizarro film.
Jesus is a
Like
very
Jesus
essential
Bro
plot point.
is a Jesus movie.
Yeah,
okay.
This is not
Good
a
point.
Jesus movie.
He's a plot point. Let's put it that way. I mean, but anyways, we're not here to talk about that movie because I always like to call upon, nowadays, I like to call upon John and Dan for some antiquated action schlock from way back when. And boy, oh boy, did I pull up a doozy recently. Last time we talked about Versus from the year 2000. This time, I pulled all the way back to 1981 for this one, Firecracker. And I was just watching this kind of on my own. Like, I just saw it was on Amazon. And I'm like, okay, looks interesting. Let me see what it's about. And as I started watching it, I'm like, oh, we could probably talk about this. So I encouraged Dan and John to seek it out. But
Do you know why is it also called The Naked Fist? Why is it got two names?
I'm guessing because Naked Fist is probably a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, and it's a little more provocative.
Provocative,
Hey,
yes.
What do
Exactly.
you mean? The opening credit scenes, they had that long string of firecrackers that were going off to let you know that the movie's called Firecracker. They're very clever.
But later on in the film, they get naked and they
Yes.
have fists. So
There's
you see,
so many fists.
yes,
So
And
many.
so much nakedness.
Yeah, that's what I realized when I was getting into it. Well, it should have been an indicator because it opens up with New World Pictures, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
But John, I'm gonna pass it off to you. Can you give us a little synopsis of Firecracker, aka the Naked Fist?
I will try to. I'm not sure that I'll do a very good job of it, but we'll try. I believe it is about a young lady named Susie who goes to the Philippines.
Yes.
Okay, to the Philippines to look for her sister who has gone missing. And of course, Susie is a kung fu master, and she runs across a gentleman by the name of Chuck Donner, who sounds like he's a CPA, not really like a karate expert. But anywho, and she falls in love with Chuck, but then at the end of the movie, unfortunately, finds out some unfortunate news involving her sister and Chuck. And then we have our conflict for the film. Did I do a decent enough job, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, because we can get into details about it too, because, yeah, you bring up sort of a basic synopsis. If anything that John said intrigues you at all, go watch the movie and then come back and listen to the things we're probably going to spoil here because this film goes places.
We should tell people where they could see it. They could see it on Amazon, and it's also on the great app Tubi.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Both free, I believe, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of the Tubi. So
I am.
As soon as I saw where it was streaming, I'm like, oh, John will like this. He loves the Tubi.
Yeah. I love Tubi. It's great.
But yeah, this movie, as soon as I saw the New World logo, I'm like, okay, I have a feeling about where this is gonna go. This is a B movie. There's gonna be some action for sure. The Philippines very much feels more like a financial instead of creative choice.
My question was it really filmed in the Philippines?
I think I believe so. Yeah, Dan.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This looks very like Philippines shot as my movie history goes.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like Dan and I have come across many a film selection in our time where it's like I have a feeling they outsourced this. So yeah, it opens up with a martial arts tournament, and Chuck with his glorious 80s hair and mustache. Man, and he looks like Bradley. I was talking about that movie, that we're not going to talk about on here in the cast, and like how there's a guy who looks like Bradley Cooper in there. This looks like Bradley Cooper out of American Hustle, but just with a different hairstyle. And
my question with the opening scene and throughout all this movie, why is the like punches, kicks, and weapons so loud? I've never seen a martial arts movie where it's so loud. Like it's like, good Lord, that's loud. It's not your subtle like punch or kick. It's like really pronounced.
Yeah, it's like two halves of beef hitting each other every time.
I have a theory about that because I will say there is competent fight choreography. It's not impressive, especially when it comes to our leads, or Susie, but it's competent. But I feel they're like, we need to punch this up a little bit, figuratively. Let's throw in over-the-top sound effects. Absolutely. But,
I thoroughly enjoyed too the gigantic sword that the guy had in that opening scene. Like I'm like, why? Like that's like some overcompensation shit right there. I mean, it's gigantic.
Yeah,
it's what you would hunt Jaws with.
Some of the weaponry in here is kind of hilarious. She goes at one point in the film to learn the sacred kind of art of, I can't remember the name of the style, but it involves like,
it's the sacred art of beating people with two sticks.
Yes, basically. So she just has two like thick bamboo sticks at the end that she combats people with.
Okay, the thing that bothered me the most about this movie, and there's a story behind it. Like I don't know why this bothers me, but it bothers me. So we had Susie fighting her bra and panties. Then I believe she fought like topless. It bothers me because I remember watching Eastern Promises, the Viggo Mortensen movie, and the bathhouse scene bothered me. Like to fight a man buck naked is terrifying for me. I don't know why. It's just like if you had clothes on, you still could probably get stabbed in the junk, but just when you're completely naked and things are flopping around, it makes me cringe even more.
Yeah. Fun story about
flap out of the way though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got that. It's just like all over the place. It's fine.
And plus, what a distraction. So.
Yeah. Look at my flapping junk. You're dead.
But funny story about that fight scene in this movie. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I read somewhere that like apparently it was just supposed to be her in like her undergarments. Like that was as far as it was gonna go. But there was an on-set accident where accidentally they did rip the bra, and they were just like, well, shoot. Guess we'll just shoot it now topless.
Yeah. Oh, darn.
I want to say maybe some production heads were like, yes, accident.
Yes.
Let's accidentally do this. And so in that regard, it feels, a little exploitative, perhaps. Sure.
I don't know. It's not so much, like I said, for me, it always weirds me out to see naked people fighting, because it's like, you're naked. Like, it's vulnerable enough. And now, you're fighting naked, and it's just all out there for everyone to see.
I'm very curious then what you thought about later, where it's more like, what about fighting people that just happen to be naked and try to incorporate weapons play into their foreplay?
Oh. Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Shall we just tackle that subject right now?
Go for it.
Okay.
Sure.
Trigger warning.
Who in their right mind goes to make love to a woman or a man or whomever and pulls out 2 knives and cuts all their clothing off?
Chuck. That's who. So
Go ahead, Mike.
As you were saying earlier, like, she comes to the Philippines looking for her sister. Earlier on, it's established that, like, her sister is kind of following around Chuck, and Chuck's involved in, like, some criminal dealings. Like, he's an enforcer, basically, for this one guy who looks like he'd rather be out golfing because he's wearing golf shirts.
I called him Dollar Tree Anderson Cooper.
Yes.
He reminded me of Anderson Cooper.
He does. He looks like an older, more bored Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. That's who I was picturing when you were talking about the Cooper earlier, by the way. So.
Oh man. But like, so he's kind of like an enforcer for him. He's got a rivalry going on with the actual, like, Filipino members of the gang and so forth. And I think Susie's sister is, like, tailing him, like, is supposed to be, like, following around, and is got entangled up in this whole situation too. And so she gets abducted. That's why Susie comes to the Philippines, meets Chuck. They end up, having their meet cute or whatever. I don't know. They really don't have chemistry. But yeah, she finds out something, is distraught, goes to Chuck, who, like, I don't want to say gets rapey, but he gets rapey. And she is on the bed, and Chuck whips out his dual knives and starts undressing her with his knives by, like, cutting off her pant legs, cutting her out of her jeans.
Like, my question was, like, I could just imagine, like, could you, if that happened to you, be like, hey, I paid $60 for these trousers. What the hell?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, here's the thing. Like in the moment, it might be all fun and games and shit, but then you got to go home.
Yes, exactly.
What the hell are you gonna do? Let's get some duct tape and just put your pants back together.
My main thing definitely was going with John, kind of that first initial, like, that was $60, asshole.
Exactly.
I mean, she gives in return, like, she, like, kicks him across the room at one point?
Yeah.
And they use that as, like, oh, but that's their foreplay, because then immediately they get into the sexing, and it's just like, okay.
And this is not the only time that clothing gets cut, because I think earlier on, Susie's, when she fights topless, her bra gets cut off.
Oh, that whole scene, like, it's solely there just to get her down to her skivvies, and then even less, because she's walking home from this event. These 2 guys are like, hey, and they start, like, chasing her through, like, this abandoned warehouse section. They straight up kill a rent-a-cop.
Yeah.
And she doesn't stop to help the cop either, because there's a scene where she could stop and ask him how he's doing or something, but no.
No, she straight up keeps going. As she's going through the warehouse, like, her dress is it's longer and it's long, and it gets caught on everything, which I'm sure, was the intent of the filmmakers to be like, oh, and then her clothing's gonna get caught on all sorts of hooks and stuff. So she's running down a hallway in just her underwear, and so, but still, like, doing the same kick that she does throughout the whole movie. Like, I love her go-to move. It's pretty amazing. Like, people just leave themselves wide open to her for a well-placed, like, snap kick.
And while we're talking about those kicks and punches, I love how just at a drop of a hat, a fight will break out. Because like that bar scene at the beginning, it's like nothing's going on. So can you tell me where I might find my sister? And then we're full on fighting, and I'm like, why? Wait, that escalated quickly.
The editing in this movie is very, very just like nothing. You don't raise stakes. It's just like stakes have been raised and they were just cutting to it right now. Like, yeah, exactly. She goes into that bar, like she comes back out, and then like the other guy, I can't remember his name, but like her friend, who's actually Filipino, is like already kicking guys' asses for no reason.
Yeah. And I love like in many of those fight scenes where she puts herself like in the weirdest position just to kill somebody. Like I know there's this one time where she rolls on the table and the guys go, and then she just kicks them both with her leg. And I'm like, why would you need to roll on the table to do that? Why?
I mean, also, too, like they have to set it up so that she's able to get out a shot long enough for her stunt double in a wig to come in and do like flips.
Oh man, and that is so obvious.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love it. She's being chased through like a marketplace at one point, and she does the whole thing where she like runs across a table and down, and then just out of frame in the corner. And I'm like, here's where the stunt double comes in. I know exactly how this is gonna play. And then sure enough, here comes a figure, kind of sort of her body type, but not turning to face the camera. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there's a
sporting some 5 o'clock shadow there. Yeah.
I immediately think of Spaceballs, where like, you idiots, you got their stunt doubles, and like the princess one is like, it's just a dude in a wig. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
like this is kind of my favorite kind of shitty movie. Because I mean, like I would have felt bad saying this, like when you guys were talking about the sex scenes, because that's not why. But like the fights are like spring out of nowhere, and like I had no idea like what half the plot was going or why. I don't know why she shows up to learn how to fight with sticks, and then she just leaves, and she never actually learns this, but it's back at the end of the third act for no reason. There's just there's guys flying over tables. Nobody really knows how to fight that well. It's just great.
Well, and here's my question: when she learns how to fight, and maybe it was just me, I don't know, but the master samurai is talking to like her Filipino friend. I don't remember what his name was.
Yeah.
Was there subtitles? Because I'm like, I don't understand what he's saying. Like,
no, that was the point. He was talking in the dialect, and then her friend translated everything.
But I was kind of like,
the master guy learns what she says, and he doesn't have to tell him because he's awesome and mystical.
Oh, her friend is named. The character's name is Ray, and he's played by Ray Malonzo. So
okay,
Ray. It's easy to remember.
Yep.
You don't have to remember another name.
Yep, absolutely.
No.
Perfect.
I did love the synth music too that we had in certain parts. Like I was like, yes, that's a classic staple of the '80s, man.
I just gotta say, I'll give her a shout out. Jillian Kesner, like, I know she's kind of slumming it in this movie, but at the same time, like she this is kind of past like her glory days, because she was on like Happy Days as Fonzie's girlfriend. But she ended up like having a prolific career like after this type of stuff, because she did a bunch of like TV stuff, TV movies, low budget straight to video stuff. She ended up being in, or they tried to complete Orson Welles' Other Side of the Wind, which recently came out on Netflix a couple of years ago.
Which is awesome,
and so she really got into like film preservation and like film history, so to speak. Like became a curator more so than an actress afterwards. So,
when did she passed away, correct?
She passed away, yeah. It said, I believe she passed away on December 5th, 2007.
Okay.
From a staph infection. She was 58.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But I just got to give her props, because she is doing what she can to make to make this seem interesting, at least for herself. And with the shit I'm sure she had to put up with, like I said, fight scenes topless, that weird ass sex scene. Like, I mean, she's giving it her all. She is trying to do something.
So
like, I don't want to knock her that bad, but she's no Cynthia Rothrock, you know?
Oh, no, who is? I mean, well, first of all, Cynthia Rothrock, you know, she actually knows martial arts, right? So
yes.
it's like
exactly.
I mean, they clearly taught Jillian, you know, a couple of basic moves because, like I said, she has go-to moves, the open kicks and so forth. Something that she can manage, you know, when you have to have her face on screen. And then they just put in a stunt double. But I mean, even then, like she invests. But yeah, she's not like a trained martial artist, clearly. But
I was very confused, real quickly, about Anderson Cooper's Dollar Tree Anderson Cooper, his character. Was his character
telling me news?
Did his character do heroin? Because I was confused what he injected with, because no heroin comes in a bottle like that.
Yeah.
No. They needed a reason why the chick was close to him. So I guess like she's his nurse / secretary, maybe. I don't know.
Second in command, maybe.
I was just confused because she has it in a spoon, so I'm like, it's heroin. But then they pull it out of like the tube, like an insulin tube. I'm like, no, that's not heroin. And then I'm like, is it steroids? But it wouldn't be steroids. Why would you heat it up in a spoon? Like, I was totally confused.
Doesn't matter, because guess what? Forgotten, and we just go to another scene.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
like I totally skipped right over that because I was trying to make sense of the horrible car chase scene. So
Oh, man.
Oh God.
Wait, the car chase, or it's a shootout, right?
Both of them at the same time, I think, because they're equally awful.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, they introduce characters that you think you're going to invest in for arcs, and then it doesn't matter because, like, yeah, that girl, she's an undercover, like, she's an informant for the police. Oh yeah, by the way, the police are doing something in here. Like, they try to pull Susie aside and say, hey, what are you up to here? You know, don't get involved in this or whatever. And it's just like, okay, but
okay. I do enjoy Chuck's white satin Adidas jacket. That was that was baller with that design on the back. I was like, yes, that is awesome.
He has some great wardrobe choices, I will say. Sure, like, absolutely.
And he had the best line: "Screw her, I intend to."
Yeah, that's right. Like, his whole like feeling out like what Susie's intentions are, but he's just like.
Because it was the other guy. What was the other guy's name? The other henchman? I can't remember his name. He was the one who was like, screw her, I intend to.
Yeah, the other guy who's like vying for attention from Anderson Cooper. I love the other guy's interrogation scene of Susie, wherein he's like, if you don't tell me the truth, I will let this cobra out of this box. And the cobra clearly doesn't care.
No.
And all the money in the budget was spent on that cobra. You know it.
I have a feeling, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was a large ticket. That was a large ticket item that they had to pay for.
I love too how she takes the cobra and throws it on his face, and it's not even biting him, but it's just like he's just like, oh my God, it's killing me somehow.
Yeah, it's just like I love when she's trailing Chuck through the market, and just like random fights break out, and it's like, are these the bad guys' henchmen, or are these just random people, or are they angry that she's not buying something? I don't know.
That's just the nature of the universe we set up here. Fights can just happen whenever, man.
Yeah,
it's like,
why not? I mean, you know, because I never want to go there now. Like, I'm never going to the Philippines because this shit happens, and then people become saints, and I don't like it.
Hey, I wrote down this note. Chuck seems so disinterested in drug dealing.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, whatever. Like,
dude is bored, man.
Yeah.
He wants nothing to do with any of this. Like he's so. And again, I don't know if it's I don't know if there was much dubbing. If it feels sometimes like there is dubbing issues going on in this. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think that Chuck is not well written. That's the problem.
No.
I don't think Chuck is well acted either.
When he showed up at the beginning of the film, I thought he was Pierre Kirby. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. It's a Godfrey flick.
The long forgotten Pierre Kirby. Is he alive actually, or what?
I don't think anybody knows. I don't know.
I don't know if you know about Pierre Kirby, John, but like he was in just a handful of like martial arts action flicks in like the late 70s, early 80s. They were like repurposed and recut with new scenes with him.
Okay.
He was only in like 6, I think, and then he just vanished.
Oh, so he does not have a Wikipedia page, probably.
Probably not. Just he's probably on like a lot of like horror or action movie like news sites from back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no one knows what happened to him.
He like vanished on a boat, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, he vanished on a boat or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you really thought it might be Pierre Kirby.
I really did. Like I expected him to show up with like a headband that said ninja on it, and it was going to be great. But instead, I got random fighting, so it's fine.
No, he'd have to be Ted Fast in order to make that happen.
I did enjoy that Anderson Cooper likes a good game of backgammon.
I mean, he can't get up to much. He's pushing what, 50 something or I don't know.
And man, all the decor in all of these places is horrendous. I mean, the hotel's got more wood paneling than I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, yeah, they had to spring for that Cobra, man.
Anderson Cooper's house has got the tacky wallpaper all over the place. It's just
he's going to watch this at some point and be like, why are they picking on me? And how do they get pictures of my house?
We're going to get cease and desist letters from his attorney.
Like, I don't understand.
Quit besmirching the good name of Anderson Cooper, who was probably like, 10 years old or something when this movie
most likely.
Yes. Oh, man. We totally forgot about the mirrored ceiling, by the way.
Oh, yes. Of course there's a mirrored ceiling.
Of course Chuck has a mirrored ceiling. I mean, that doesn't even bear notice.
Yeah. Otherwise, how else can we establish that Susie has a butt? Like,
I mean, she may not. It may not exist.
Unless you see it in a mirror.
Yes.
It's like, we keep coming back to this thing just because I will say, out of a movie that I'm kind of like, okay, I have a feeling, this is going to be very Roger Corman-ish B-movie, what's in a Pussycat Kill, whatever type of type of movie.
Kill Pussycat Kill.
But that sex scene was was just very for me. I'm like, what? Stop.
Yeah, it's like 60s Roger Corman, like run through some sleazy 70s, and they're.
Well, like I said, it's New World, so I don't know if he was at all hands-on with this production or if he just distributed it. But even if he has nothing to do with the movie, it still feels like a Corman New World B release.
Yeah.
Then there was that scene with the black cat that like ran into something and broke shit, and I'm like, what is this?
The cat was a jump scare. It was amazing. Well, I mean, I think spoilers for this part, like Susie's sister's dead,
right?
Yeah,
and she finds out, and so she gets in she's like going through the rain, and she's in a depression, so she goes to Chuck's place, and this is where leads into that sex scene. But she's at first like distraught and disconnected, and then all of a sudden the cat just smashes a window or a mirror or something.
Yeah,
and I just laughed. I was like, what the fuck? She's already distraught, movie. We don't need further stakes.
I
like
also
the second. Oh, good.
I was just gonna say, Dan, real quick, right before they start making love, is that embrace? I swear that there's two like different shots of it. and like she doesn't have the same makeup on. Jillian doesn't have the same makeup on in the one cut versus the other cut, and I'm like, so no continuity whatsoever. The assistant director was out to lunch. What the hell?
I don't think they cared at that point. This movie feels like it can't wait for it to be over. The ending just happens.
Yeah, I mean that was actually kind of fun.
Oh no, I dug it, but it was like, oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
But this is the curiosity of me. If you got your eyes poked out, that wouldn't kill you, would it?
If you ram it far enough in, yes.
And he was on the ground, I believe, right?
So, yeah.
I guess you're right, Dan. I guess if you drove
straight through,
it would kill you. Okay.
That fake head was pretty fun, though, I will say.
Yeah.
I did enjoy how Dollar Tree Anderson Cooper was like up in the press box. You go, tonight we're gonna have a woman fight, and it was like he was so fired up up about it.
And he has the coalition of evil bad guys from all around the world up there.
So,
there's a Turkish guy. There's they got everything.
It reminded me of the opening to the first Naked Gun movie, where he infiltrates like all the terrorist organizations meeting.
Yeah,
and like Gaddafi's there, and it reminded me so much of that. I was just like,
I will give Chuck some credit, though. I thought that the one positive in this whole entire film was Chuck's dilemma whether to kill Susie or not in that final scene. You know, like he kind of didn't know what to do, whether he wanted to fight her or not. And I actually thought that took some decent acting to pull off.
Yeah, he did actually emote like looks of like what? Bewilderment, concern, confusion. She looks pissed. She looks rightly pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a young Tarantino and Uma Thurman saw this and be like, we can do that pissed off blonde look. We could give her that stare, that holding gaze. Absolutely. But yeah, she comes out. And I will say the set of the arena is probably the most impressive set.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it looks like what it's supposed to look like, realistically. Yeah. So
it's probably a real like high school gymnasium somewhere. Yeah, it's just like, hey, that place. Let's put some mats on the. Oh, that's the one thing that bothered me in the beginning. Okay, they got these mats on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every time the guys in white roll on them, they're like covered in dirt. Like who does their cleaning here? Like,
they're criminals, man. They just roll in the dirt.
But I mean, you got like at least a quarter inch of dirt on these nice mats in the middle of the arena. Come on.
I mean, they're too busy doing heroin out of insulin bottles. So I mean, clearly they don't have
the cleaning crew
time for cleanliness.
In the corner,
So, oh man.
Do you think maybe with that scene, like the writer doesn't really know how heroin works, and he's just like, yeah, we're gonna put it in a spoon, and then he's gonna have it in a bottle, and then he's I don't know, he's gonna inject it, and he's like they have no idea how drugs work, and they're just writing.
I think a lighter's involved, you know?
Yeah, a lighter. I don't know. Maybe he's just a diabetic who's trying to multitask or something. I
don't know.
I don't know. You have to tell me what it was like back then, John. I wasn't born yet when this movie came out.
Hey, I want you to know I was 6. Okay, I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I even at 6 years old probably would have gone, this movie sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I go to John? I was about to say, like, Dan's like over here, like, thank God he didn't say anything to me.
Hey, man, this came out in 81?
81, yeah.
I was 3, so we're good.
Oh, okay. So John is the eldest of us. Okay.
Someone has to be, right?
Yeah,
someone has to be.
It's fine. Thanks, John.
Thank you for carrying that torch for us.
No problem. I'll try not to drop it.
I will say, I'm trying to see what else Jillian, because she did a bunch of like, bit parts and things like that. She was on TJ Hooker for an episode in 1983.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, she was in Raw Force.
I don't know that one.
Raw Force.
No, I don't either.
Is bananas. Basically, take this movie and amplify everything by like 50. because it's got kung fu, it's got copious amounts of nudity. I believe it's got cannibals.
What?
Ooh.
It's got Cameron Mitchell.
Nice.
I
think I know what we're watching next.
Yeah, there we go. It's got Ray. Some people from this movie show back up because this was the year after. This was 1982.
Please tell me it's on Tubi.
I will have to go onto Google here, but I'm curious. Did you have favorite characters?
Yes, I enjoyed because I enjoyed the dude that owned the bar, the big burly dude with the beard.
Yes,
because he reminded me of a cross of Lyle Alzado and the one dude from Revenge of the Nerds. I can't remember his name. The bully from then. Nerds. That guy. I can't remember his name in the movie. That's who he reminded me of.
Unfortunately, Raw Force, it was on Amazon, but it's currently unavailable to watch in our location.
Oh,
nothing. It's on Tubi, or not Tubi,
Yay.
Shudder. It's on Shudder.
You got to pay for that. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you liked a big burly bearded bartender. I kind of liked him.
Yeah, that was the guy I kind of liked.
I kind of liked police detective who was there solely to be a prick and ended up, I think, did he get shot in the end? I can't remember.
I think something happened. I think he got shot. Yeah.
A lot of people got shot.
Yeah, he did because he came in like the room that had like just the random table in the middle, and the other guy was standing back by the like where the bathrooms I guess would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he shot the cop.
Yeah, I liked him just for his fashion sense because he was the one like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna Miami Vice the shit out of this. Like, he had the aviators and blonde hair and everything like that. Like, yeah, he was just going for it. Sure.
I real quickly think I want to know, is President Duarte think this is his favorite movie? That's what I would like to know.
God, I could give a shit about that.
Just
50% of me doesn't give a shit what Duterte thinks.
just trying to be comical.
Yeah. No, because if anything, it's like, no, drug dealers got away. Well, no, they didn't get away. Yeah. Anderson Cooper got away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So
Duarte probably hates this movie.
He probably hates this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dan, enough of our politics. What were you going to say?
My favorite character is the fat liaison guy that seems to be Cooper's second in command, just because he's completely incompetent at like everything he does.
And he's angry at literally nothing. He's angry.
He's got a goofy little band of underlings with him, and he still can't get anything done right.
I like how there's a handoff. Like Chuck does a handoff in the middle of like a parade.
Oh God!
And even there, like that guy's still being a dick to him.
Yeah,
vocally, like out loud, like you guys aren't being subtle at all about your drug transaction right now. Like there's a crowd of people who can hear you.
It's during a parade. I mean, it's fine.
But
everyone's distracted by the floats and the marching band. They'll never know.
And the soon-to-be giant fight breaking out in the middle of the street, because why not?
And he's the one in the car shootout. Like he's the one who like falls off the dam or falls into the river below, right?
Oh, thank you. So. You know what?
He doesn't fall, he rolls into the river, I think, from what I recall.
Look, I gotta be honest. There's a note that I wrote down that says, "Don't drown, turn around." And I'm like, what the hell did I write that down for? I couldn't remember. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's what that note's for.
That's probably what he was actually thinking to himself in the actual production. He's like, holy shit, I don't want to die for this piece of shit movie.
Oh man. It's pretty bad when you take notes and you're like, I don't even know what the hell this means now. And I just watched this on Thursday, so
yeah, I'm not gonna. I haven't had an urge to revisit it, but every like moment does kind of stand out very distinctly in my head when it comes to like memorable shit. Like I don't need to see this movie again because some of these interactions and some of these images will just stay with me just because opulence of 80s action schlock abounds.
Good stuff. It was good stuff.
Man.
Now, how this should have ended was Ray when she spikes the dude in the face, instead of fading to black, her sister should have run down and been like, "What are you doing? We were going to get married."
That's right, because
and that's the end.
we never. I think they do say like, yeah, her sister's dead, but we never actually see the body. We never actually see.
She sees it, like they uncover it for her.
Oh yeah, that's right. She goes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like somebody else, and she just freaked out. You know, some other blonde chick that they found in the Philippines.
Yeah, I would have liked that ending more so. And then she could have been like, "Oh, what?"
and then Chuck sits up and goes, "Ah!" And that's the end.
No, what you need is the Cobra to like mouth like, "Whoa,
oh yeah,
that's all, folks."
There you go. That's all, folks.
Nice.
The Cobra's been there the whole time, just chilling, waiting for the finale.
He's got like a cigarette in his mouth. Hey, what's up, guys?
I will say,
in the stands, got a thing of popcorn next to him.
I will say, I'm glad. From what I can recall, there isn't any animal killing in this, so that's good.
Yes.
No.
Which, with these movies, where they're shot like that's a 50-50. You're treading the line with some of these movies around this time of like they'll cut off the head off of something. It's like they didn't. Yeah. Like I hope that Cobra was okay for the rest of the shoot, but
after it got thrown in the dude's face,
yeah. After it got dumped out on the floor, I'm sure it was pissed. Like
I just got mildly surprised. It's okay.
It better have been venomized.
You never know, dude. Like I can't imagine if it wasn't like how stressful that day of shooting would have been for everybody. Because I doubt they have the proper safety precautions for dealing with the Cobra.
Oh, probably not. They probably had like a couple pieces of duct tape on the
yeah, that'll do it.
on the poison ducts there. It's fine.
Number one, it was the 80s, so no. And number two, there was no room in the budget. So
we had to panel all these walls, man. Come on.
Hey, Carl, it's time to handle the Cobra. Come on over here, Carl.
Shit. Okay, fine. Can you imagine all the actors involved? Like the guy who's like, now, if you don't tell me the truth, I'll unleash the Cobra. Because he draws that scene out, man. He's just like, you're lying, but I'm not going to release the Cobra yet because I want to hear you tell the truth. Like, I have a feeling, was that maybe an ad lib? He's like, I really don't want to let this Cobra out because I'm in here with it. So I just wonder. It's like, can we stretch this scene out a little bit so I don't have to let the Cobra out?
The director's going, stop drawing it out. Okay. Take 17. And he just draws that out again off.
Yeah, those are all just alternate takes. It's like, oh, whatever. It'll pad the movie. I'll just put them all in there.
Put them all in there.
Oh, my God.
Now it's an hour and a half.
There you go. Yeah, that's how we get. I will say it clipped along fine.
Yes.
It clipped along a lot faster than that Assassin 33 AD movie.
How long was that, by the way?
That is an hour and 48 minutes.
Oh.
That's a new barometer I'm going by when it comes to low-grade films. It's like, well, at least it's not as long as that.
Wow.
And at least
what is that on, Mike?
It's on Amazon as well. Are you going to watch it?
Yeah. I mean, you're not the first time that I've seen something about it. So.
Oh, okay.
You know what, though? That's pretty bad because we have this joke. I know another podcaster in Cincinnati who is a huge horror fan. In fact, worked in the haunting business for a very, very long time.
Nice.
He was in a horror movie, that was so bad, Amazon refused to show it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mike, yeah. He's like, I'm embarrassed to admit that I was in that production because it turned out horrible. And he goes, it was so bad that like Amazon rejected it.
Oh, that's too bad. So it's not available anywhere then.
No, it's not available anywhere.
Amazon doesn't refuse much. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Amazon has like movies I would have made back in the day on
Yeah,
the
really.
platform.
Like Thanksgiving, they have that on there, I'm sure.
But I like that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing smidgens of Thanksgiving. It's okay.
The second one,
Fun evil turkey. Come on.
Yeah.
the second one's pretty terrible though.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I mean,
well,
they're all pretty terrible. But
yeah. Well, you don't want to milk the plot, the premise too much. Otherwise, it gets
No.
boring.
Right. Yes. Almost as bad as Gingerbread Man.
Yeah. Hey,
Ginger
now.
Dead Man.
Ginger Dead Man. Yeah.
Dead Man. My bad. My bad.
Besmirch Busey.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Hey,
think I have the DVD of that.
I mean, hey, why not besmirch Busey? We've besmirched Chris Evans today. We've besmirched Anderson Cooper. We've besmirched
Poor Anderson Cooper. What does he do to you?
he just had.
He
the
just showed me
unfortunate-
that missing plane like 24 hours for like 3 weeks, like a couple years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, to be in his defense, a little bit. That was every news cycle for that period of time.
but-
It was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, he just has the unfortunate coincidence of having the same kind of look as this dude.
Yes, that's all. I
Fair
love
enough.
Anderson Cooper. He is a trusted news personality. Sorry, Anderson, that I said this guy looks like you.
And we're not really insulting your house. It's this guy's house.
It's this guy's
Right.
house,
Right.
and I'm sure you're perfectly fine, and you don't take heroin mixed in with your insulin or whatever. So
Yes, it's fine.
and have it passed over to you by this lady friend of yours who, I don't know,
May or may not be plotting to kill you so she could take over your criminal empire
or something.
or something. I don't know.
Motivations aren't very clear aside from Susie in this movie.
Hey,
Yeah, like
I made
plot's
this
not
movie
very
a little
clear.
bit better just by saying that, didn't I?
Yeah, honestly, I know we keep saying this with a lot of these films, like, well, I smell a remake revolution. But it's like, no, not
Yeah.
really. But you could expand on this universe, tell some side stories.
You could.
You know, like this feels like when they would take like a Chinese TV series and just chop it down to like 2 hours for a movie everywhere else. Like think if everybody had a backstory here and it made sense.
It would explain too why the editing is fucking
Yeah.
weird.
Yes. Yes.
Like there's a whole reason why there's a brawl in the bar in the beginning.
Exactly.
That actually has some kind of buildup.
We're missing swaths of plot beats because they just wanted to get it down to this runtime.
It's like, you know, a movie with a dragon and a sword, and suddenly like half the other, you know, actors are dead, but the guy's got the sword. You know, it's like that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened is that the production team wasted all of the stock on that topless fight scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot convince me that they're like, oh, we got hours of footage of that. Oh shit, we ran out of our whole stock.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to just like, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, "What? We don't have any money? Oh crap! We spent it all on heroin. Oh damn!" And then
We
Heroin
spent
and
it all
Cobra.
on the Cobra and the fighting arena of death.
Yes.
That's what we spent all the money on.
But I don't know. I'm again, like I was saying earlier, she's a fine enough lead for this. She's trying her best.
Yeah.
Her interactions with Chuck just kind of come and go because Chuck looks sedated for half of the movie. So,
yeah.
but
I mean, she actually looks half decent in the one fight in the like theater like place.
where she first meets him, right? Yeah, she's up on
Yeah,
the stage.
yeah. She goes up to fight the other dude and the black, you know, gi and stuff.
And he's got the huge silver hair.
Yes.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
hair is like a pompadour, man. It is
Yeah.
lush and full, and probably not real, but whatever.
It comes right off when you.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah. Like I won't say like she's an interesting enough lead to follow throughout this for what it is. It's fine. Like she keeps the plot going and stuff. She I think is acting a little too good for this movie, if anything. Like I do kind of like get her pain when she realizes about her sister and so forth. Like she conveys that very well. And like I said earlier in the finale with her very pissed off look, like man. You could tell she looks pissed.
Yeah.
She was probably thinking about all the days that she had to be half naked, and she's like, "These fuckers, I'll show them." Like, I will whip this dude's ass out here, and they will not fuck with me again. Like,
This stupid guy and his knives. What the?
We are doing one take. Oh, Jillian, we need one take.
One
We're
fucking
doing
take.
One take.
And this stays on.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Bring out the fake head. All right. I mean, I guess I would recommend this if you're curious about B-movie action schlock. Just know it gets like I said, a little creeper here and there, but I think that's pretty much par for the course when it came to some of these films around that time period.
Oh yeah.
Agreed. Yes, very much so.
I mean, you could have told me this was a canon film, and I just feel like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's the thing. Someday we'll have to do some. I have talked about like one canon movie on here, but it was from like the 90s. But we need to talk about the heyday of canon films, where it's like, people just, they went for the bombastic and big, and sometimes it works, sometimes it bit them in the ass, and sometimes you really treat your actors like shit. Like
Invasion USA.
Yep. Oh, that.
Can we cover all the Death Wish movies?
Honestly, that might be a cool series to visit, because Death Wish just gets progressively more and more.
Oh, dude.
Looney Tunes.
Like it starts out, he's got a handgun and some guys in a subway, and then like a couple movies later, he's got a rocket launcher and a full-on like gang war.
Yeah, in Death Wish 3, like the whole neighborhood is packing heat.
Yeah.
And like I'll give Death Wish. I like Death Wish 1. I'm a big fan. I think it's a great movie. I do. I love Death Wish 1, but okay, so you're avenging your wife, in 1. Okay, so you're gonna avenge your daughter in 2. Okay. 3, you're gonna avenge your buddy that you served in Korea with, who you haven't seen in 25 years.
It's every installment you find a new friend or family member that needs to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I'm like, what the? I remember watching it, and my buddy called, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm watching Death Wish 3." He goes, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't know why." I said, but I did the same rant. I'm like, why does he have to save his buddy that he served in Korea with, who he hasn't seen in forever? He's like, "I don't know, man." I'm like, okay. And so after a moment of silence, my buddy goes, "Hey, by the way, if I happen to be found dead in my apartment, you do not have to go on a rampage killing everybody." I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad we clarified that. Okay.
Hey, Bronson's got to shoot people, man. I mean,
I guess
it's the law. The sun will rise.
Well,
east. Bronson will shoot punks. It's nature.
Did you ever see 10 Till Midnight?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That one was.
Yeah, I went on a Bronson kick a couple of years ago, and I found like a bunch of his just like old stuff.
10 to Midnight weirded me out when he was interrogating the guy and he pulls out the giant like plug-in pocket pussy. I'm like, whoa, I was not ready for that. Not ready for that. I was like, whoa.
Like Stranger at the Door, I think, is another one that's just kind of weird.
I don't think I've seen Stranger at the Door.
Yeah, and what else was there? Oh, Chino, because I'd never seen that.
Oh, yeah, same here.
It's a nice, happy movie.
Would Firecracker have been elevated in quality if Bronson had been Chuck?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Hands down, yes.
He still would have delivered, I feel, a little bit of like, I'm really not interested, but at least his lack of interest would be engaging.
I would love to hear him say the line, "Screw her. I intend to.
Well, he could play his harmonica character from Once Upon a Time in the West. Then he could look bored, but or he could be bored, but he would just look like he's pondering.
Yeah.
He's mystical or otherworldly.
Yeah,
and
I
not
like that.
falling asleep on camera.
Yeah, and I love that movie, so it's cool.
There we go.
Cool.
So that was our review of a whole bunch of Bronson movies and Firecracker. Thank you all.
And some shots at Anderson Cooper for some reason.
Yep, there you go. Would you guys recommend watching this movie?
Sure.
I say yes. If you want just a crappy, schlocky film to just sit back and enjoy and not think about it, yes, I recommend it.
Yeah, like do you want like random fights breaking out for no reason? Because I did, and it worked for me. So you're good.
So there you go. That was 1981's Firecracker, or as it was sometimes known, The Naked Fist. Right?
Yes.
I'm not. I wasn't just like The Naked Gun. No, that's not right. That's a completely different movie. I was just talking. It's like, yeah.
You got to make it sound, better though. Like Naked Fist.
Okay, so angry. Naked Fist.
Yeah. See. There you go.
There we go. Firecracker.
Snap into a firecracker.
Guys, thanks. It's been fun to just laugh for like 3 hours straight. Honestly, it always picks up my mood and puts me in a good mindset to go into the rest of my day. Again, you can find more of Dan over at 3geeks.ninja. Like he said, they have a big schedule of stuff that's going to be unloaded onto the internet.
It never ends. So yes, please come and watch it.
I didn't see your face when he put up that graphic of the schedule, but I heard everyone audibly go like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. Like you guys know what I did the last 3 days, so yeah.
And of course, John over at PVDCast.com. Yep. Check out some more the 614 magazine article. No, honestly, that's cool, man. Hope they made a very complimentary and good write up for you.
Oh, they did. It was really cool to be part of it. So I appreciate the opportunity.
All right.
Nice.
And of course, I'm over here at youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Follow me on Twitter at MikeMcGTV. See y'all later. Naked Fist.